14 years ago, I met the love of my life.
And we were married shortly after.
We were building our life together, enjoying adventures.
And we bought a house 3 months after dating. We spent the first 3 weeks of our marriage in Hawaii,
which would lay the foundation for a life of adventure.
Whether we were sitting at home or enjoying a ball game,
we always found fun in each other's company, no matter what we were doing.
Through our marriage, we brought two families together.
Each a part of the others, we always enjoyed spending time with family. Eventually, those dreams turned into dreams about having a family.
Who knew 3 little words would have such an impact on our future? I have cancer.
I'm nervous.
60 seconds.
I know I'm nervous. Like my stomach. I'm freaking out. Do you know?
60 seconds.
Do you know?
All right, attempt 1. Not yet.
Not yet.
Are you ready? Well, we're headed to our first meeting.
Yeah.
Let's go. Okay, so IVF. What is it? It was new to us. I think everyone kind of knows what IVF is in theory. I mean, you're basically making an embryo in a lab.
We were actively trying to grow our family. A couple months went by after trying, and I discovered that something wasn't right. I was having abnormal bleeding when I shouldn't have. So I called my doctor. One of those tests came back abnormal, so they wanted to do some more tests. You know how doctors go, you go in for one test, they discover something, you have to get another test. So that's what we did. That one test came back, and the cells around my cervix were positive for cancer. We told her that our end goal was to grow a family and to have kids.
They put the readings and the findings up in front of UC's tumor board, which is a panel of cancer experts, and specifically with women's cancer. Mm-hmm. And they came up with a plan, which honestly, we first thought, with it being a tumor and a little on the smaller size, that they were going to be able to like surgically remove it, and we'd be...
So we met with the IVF doctors, and she gave us multiple options of things that we could do. Still not knowing quite yet what my treatment plan would be. So we took some notes and kind of went back and kind of discussed what we could do. After my oncologist met with the tumor board, we went back to her office, and she, delivered the dreadful news that I wouldn't be able to carry. And now we had to plan what to do with that information. And that was probably one of the toughest days. It was a really hard day for us.
It was probably our worst day.
I felt very defeated. I was a woman put on this earth to have babies. And then when the doctor tells you, hey, that's not possible, you immediately think, oh shit, now what? Now what are we gonna do? How are we gonna make this happen?
Almost guaranteed that both the radiation and chemotherapy would essentially fast forward Jen's menopausal state, and it would basically make that not possible.
Any active eggs that I had, and put me into a menopause state.
So the option we ended up going with was egg retrieval and harvesting, which was a process. It's stuff I learned. I learned a lot about the female reproductive system that I had. I mean, I'm
Honestly,
sure Jen
I
even
did
learned
too.
stuff.
Yeah.
It was wild. It was wild to learn how that you could fake your body out with some shots into thinking you're about to be pregnant, and like these eggs were basically growing to the size where they could then be taken out and put into a beaker.
Yeah.
With my little beakers.
and make a baby.
Yeah. So I think what did we end up with? I think we ended up with
We harvested
11 or 12, almost a dozen.
We harvested 11.
Of those, 6 were considered viable, like healthy enough to basically fertilize with one of the sperms. And then of those, 2 made it to what they call mature state, which is the 5 to 6 day range. And they actually called us on day 5 and said there were 2 that had made it that far, and they presented us an option.
Option was to let it go day 6, blastocyst, right? To give it one more day to see if those 2 embryos could get the best grade of possible. So we waited another day. At this point, we were like, we've been waiting a couple of days. What's one more day to get the best outcome?
There was some risk involved. They said if we waited another day, they could both not make it.
Right.
And we had to decide because we had 2 that were ready-ish. And they said we could let it go one more day. They could both fail. We would have none. And I don't know, we prayed on it and we were like, if it fully matures in 6 days, let's let it go. And we did, and one didn't make it and one did. So after all that process, we were left with one little embryo,
perfect embryo,
which we froze. And the rest was on God and the doctors. First appointment done.
We're excited.
We're making a baby.
Life's highest of highs brought some lows, but at the end of the day, Matt and I had each other. My message was, I got this, thumbs up. 5 chemo treatments, 24 external radiation treatments, 4 internal radiation treatments.
Everyone kept telling Jen she was strong through this.
This is temporary. I was done. I did it. It was time to ring the bell.
I'm gonna cry. What am I gonna do? Your wheelchair's right behind.
I beat cancer. We went fishing and hiking, continued doing all the things that we love to do, only this time with a little extra skip in our step.
We surrounded ourselves with positivity,
Uplifting messages, and hope for the future.
As a survivor, Jen got to lead a group of family and friends on a survivor cancer walk.
It was very rewarding being among these other survivors. I want to be an inspiration.
So finally, if you are new to our show, we leave you each week with what's called Lighten Up with Liz. It's a personal take on a health story each week, one of my favorite times of the hour. And it's a heartwarming story this week that reminded me that when something awful happens, those who rise above turn it into a mission to help others. Well, that's exactly what Jennifer Wesley did with a journey that started when Jennifer and her husband Matt decided to expand their family. Some routine tests at her gynecologist's office led to the discovery she had cervical cancer. This is the team here at the University of Cincinnati Cancer Center. It was devastating for her because she had to have treatment, which led to her not being able to carry a child. She wants to talk about this cancer, however, so other women will know that routine cancer screenings, like the one she had, just getting a pap test, can save your life.
I truly feel like someone was watching over me in that springtime for the reason that I didn't get pregnant, to then determine my course of how things were going to end.
So let me tell you how it ended for Jennifer. This is pretty amazing. She is now cancer-free. The team had a whole treatment plan for her that worked, and she was able to preserve her eggs, which is also part of that program. Before you go into treatment, they will ask you those kind of questions. So she is now able to start her family again. She's using the help of a surrogate, said they've already started that process. What was really interesting to me in all this is she said that it was her faith that got her through. And if you're in a tough time right now, she wants you to know that yours can too. She reminded me of one of my favorite sayings. It was written by a woman who wrote What God Has Promised. And she had a number of health challenges, and people would come to her and say, how come you're so happy even when you have these health challenges? And she wrote something called What God Has Promised. She said, you weren't promised sun without rain, joy and no sorrow, peace and no pain. But you are promised strength for today, rest for your labor, light for your way. She says you'll get grace for the trials when you need it, and you'll get help from above. And when you get that, you get unfailing sympathy and undying love.
So,
End of summer comes along. And,
end of summer, midsummer, typical treatment plans. You get a scan right after treatment to see how things progressed and if the treatment plan worked. And then you get a 6-month follow-up scan. So mid-July was my 6-month follow-up scan.
And they do 2 scans. They do a CT scan and what's called a PET scan, a PET scan. And the CT scan basically shows the physical size of the tumor.
It's like a picture.
And the PET scan shows the metastasity. I don't know how it's basically how active the tissue is in the cancerous cells. So they both look at it physically in size and for the activity and if it's still basically alive, the cancer's still alive.
My oncologist said that the tumor was dead tissue at this point. There was no nothing active on there, which is, what we were hoping for. But there was a small piece of one of my lymph nodes that lit up, and they were concerned about it being cancer. It was outside of my radiation field, so it wasn't in my pelvic region. It was up higher in my abdomen region, and it was on the outside of my lymph node. So they wanted to do a biopsy. The unfortunate part of that was that it did come back that it was cancer, that it had grown a little bit to a little more than they wanted it to, because it was shown on the CT scan, which it had to be larger than a centimeter in size. So now we were back to where we were almost exactly a year prior, coming up with a treatment plan of what to do.
The type of chemo she was going to get this time was a little bit more for the whole body. So they wanted to make sure that this wasn't on any other part of her body, lymph node or otherwise. So this was more of like a kind of general whole body treatment, which was going to have a little bit more harsh reactions for her body. Nosebleeds, hair loss, ear ringing. I mean, there was a neuropathy. She's had leg pains, but she's a fighter. She's been strong.
So I was ready for the next round. 21 weeks, 147 days.
To end the treatment, Jen did 5 weeks of daily radiation.
I woke up one morning and knew it was time. Up until this point, nothing I had faced was going to be as hard as cutting my hair. As hard as this was, There was one thing that kept us going.
It was you.
You gave us hope.
You lifted our spirits.
You kept a smile on our face.
You gave us hope on the best days.
You gave us strength.
You were love.
You were strength.
You were hope.
Because throughout all of this,
It was you.
it was you.
If you've ever found yourself doubting if miracles can happen, God putting those miracles on someone's heart like Crystal, that will so resoundingly strengthen your faith. Thank you. Crystal, you are a miracle.
We're pregnant.
Yay! We're so excited.
I mean,
I don't even know excited.
I'm gonna be a dad.
I don't know if excited.
What? Dude, I've had so much uncle duty. I got this. So, who is Crystal to us? How did we get connected with Crystal? For those in our family, my side of the family will know Crystal is Mikey's partner. Mikey is my first cousin, once removed. And I've known Mikey since he was a baby. I mean, I've held him when he was just a newborn. And it's kind of wild to think that fast forward a quarter of a century and now he's, through his family, helping provide us with one.
Yep.
Crystal, we love you so much. It is, man, I've been thinking about how much God would have to put something on your heart for you to offer us something like this. And you're providing us a miracle, and we think you're a miracle. And so we love you. We love you both so much. I mean, there's not enough words to thank you guys with.
I don't even know if excited is even enough to describe like what we're currently feeling.
It's been the culmination of obviously the past few years of going, dealing with the treatment, being ready, and then not being, things letting us not be ready, and then not being ready.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Now we're waiting. And
we're at the end of it. As you're watching this, Jen is currently in radiation, which is the end cap of the entire 2 years going on now process. So God willing, this will be the last couple of weeks of cancer treatment forever.
I feel for a very long time, it feels like we've just been, kicked, and every time we think we're moving forward, like we get one step back. But this outcome this is what we were hoping. This is what we wanted and what we started out this process of completing, and it's here. The one thing that I learned out of this entire experience is, I don't control everything, that there are some, moments in life that you have to, surrender and turn to God and, just ask him for help and, to guidance and to lead the way, lead the path. And he's done that for me more than I can even describe of what that has felt like.
Crystal, you've done something that we will never be able to repay. You're already family. So, we love you forever. You and Mikey are the absolute greatest. You guys made a sacrifice with your family to help us provide us with one. And that is something that we will forever
be grateful
for. And just, It's a miracle. You're a miracle.
Yeah.
So when is baby Wesley due? We got some new merch we wanted to show you. It's the
New merch? Fishin, yes. Yes. Ah! That's awesome. That's awesome. What? Ah!
We're pregnant.
Yes. Okay. I already cried in the car. It's okay. Yep.
Oh, what? We were just talking about that. Dude, are you serious?
Yes. Well, we didn't think 2 was enough, so we think we need 1 more to the mix.
Oh my, I'm so happy for you guys.
Yeah, we're happy too.
I wish Tawny was here.
I'm excited. What's going on?
We've got some new merch we want you to see.
Lay it on me.
So since you guys freaking support us so much with your purchases, we got
Oh my god.
new Matt's Fishin' Mission gear. Well, let me back it up so you can see what it is totally.
Oh my god. That is so freaking cute. Stop it. Guys.
We're pregnant!
I'm literally gonna start crying. I'm so happy for you.
We're gonna be moms and dads together!
Yes. Oh my god, that is the best news ever.
We're growing the cousin crew.
Yes. Oh my god, I'm so excited.
Always be on mission.
It's like
I
a
like
pack.
it a lot.
So it's like always be on a fishing mission, but always be on mission for God.
Oh, that's awesome.
Do you think it looks good on this?
Are you having a baby? Well, you're frozen. Shut up! Shut up!
Yep.
You guys just gave me the chill.
Do you think that looks okay on that? Or hold on, let me back it up.
So is this a... Oh, okay. This is a... Yeah, it looks cool. Oh, wait, hold on. You MFers are pregnant?
Yes!
Yes, we are.
I'm joining the dad crew.
Oh, nice. Awesome. Congrats.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Matt's gonna be a dad. What the hell?
Yeah. Well, I feel like I'm going to be a dad, too, because,
Right.
you know, I paid for that, for
Yeah.
some of that, maybe.
Exactly. Exactly.
So,
Always be on mission.
Yeah, it's kind of like a double entendre.
I like that.
Do you like it like this, or do you like it on
Turn it up.
on that?
Oh,
Are you serious?
Oh my
Are you
goodness.
serious?
Whoa!
That's amazing. That is amazing.
How awesome
So
is
what-
that?
So what? Talk me through it.
So
Wow.
yeah, we got our surrogate and we transferred on January 19th. Found out we were pregnant 10 days later, and we got our first ultrasound
Last week.
and we are 7 weeks today.
Wow.
7 weeks. It's-
Hallelujah.
Yes.
Okay.
I want your opinion.
Okay. Ooh. I'm so excited.
Bye.